how many games had it been that they hadn't beaten the Leafs?
7.
That's what I think.
They were making sure of it.
They just
we're ending this skid here.
Haven't built up the trust in the coaches with him yet.
Yeah, and again, he hasn't had a ton of ice time and things like that. So
let's talk about power play for a minute, because in the first period, John Tavares was called for hooking at 17:31. It was an abysmal power play. They couldn't even get in the zone. Both units, and Luddy, they tried the same entry with a couple variations, and it was as if Toronto's penalty killers had the playbook and heard the play call before they even tried to enter the zone.
Well, it's called scouting. I mean, we've seen now for a while, a lot of teams have the playbook on it. I can tell you what it's going to be, and it's going to be the same one next time. But what they did is they found a way on their next one to recover the puck. And I think it got a little deeper. A lot of times when they don't have success, it's not even it barely gets to the top of the circle because they play the tic-tac-toe, and this one got a little bit deeper. Then they win a 50-50 puck battle, and that's how they end up getting the puck out.
Well, in the second period, it was the same guy, Tavares, who took a slashing penalty at 11:01. This time, it was the second unit that got out there, and not first. The first unit got their time, didn't do much. Then it was the second group that came out, and they had 2 quality chances. First, Dodonov with a one-timer from the right circle, just missed the net wide, and then Maverick Bourque scored. This one was a bit of a fortuitous bounce. You talk about Stankoven in the first period working hard. This time, Stankoven with a great tip of a Harley shot, and he used Bourque as a backboard to make it a 2-1 Stars lead.
If you go and watch that replay, and I watched it numerous times, Stank thought he got that goal.
Yeah, he celebrated.
Right? Did you see that?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Because he actually turns to start heading to Harley. And then I think out of the corner of his eye, he either hears Bourque or somebody says something, and he kind of goes, oh, yeah. So he's just as happy.
Yeah.
But I think, again, what did they do differently than the first group did? They started direct. They've done it every time they've been out there. Whether they're getting 30 seconds or 45 seconds, they make 1 or 2 passes and it goes to the net. 1 or 2 passes goes in the net. And, and again, you get the shooter out there, and Thomas, who he finds the seams. He's really good at finding some kind of a seam, and he gets the puck up to the net. It was that simple.
I love more than just shooting the puck, because you're exactly right. As Owen just said, it was a quick pass. Dodonov with a one-timer misses, and then right back up, and Harley within probably 5 to 6 seconds of that shot missing gets another shot to the net. But I think what the Stars have been missing a lot, and Miro did it a couple times later in the game on their next power play, but shooting the puck from the middle of the ice.
Yep.
I think they have guys. You talk about how good Jamie Benn is in front of the net. They have guys. Obviously, Stankoven can do it. He's tipped a few pucks off of his own teammates. He's the one who tipped it off Marchment, and he also tipped it off Bourque. Very similar plays. But they have guys that are good in front of the net. They work on it all the time. Just pull it to the middle and shoot the puck, and they do that, and it works.
I just think when it comes to Miro being at the top versus Harley, is he doesn't even look to shoot it. It's more, it's going here and it's going here. We're going to move it. I'm going to move it to whoever. We said this a few times. Be a little more selfish, because Jamie Benn is always there. Now, he wasn't there. I mean, they've changed it a little bit, and so Jamie on the on a couple goals, like the second one, the Duchesne one, Jamie's coming off of the left wall. So, and we saw a goal the other night where Jamie was over there also, and Robo, and I think it was Hintz and Robo down to the goal line out front. So they've tweaked that a little bit. But again, when Hintz is there, he does a good job in front of the net too. So there are people there, and again, instead of moving around the perimeter and, get bodies coming there and be able to recover those 50-50 pucks, get it out and do it again.
That made it a 2-1 Stars lead. They would carry that through the end of the period. And what was really impressive was the close of period 2. Toronto did not have much offensively, and it was a 1-goal hockey game, but it felt like Dallas broke their spirits.
Yeah, I think they kept, unlike the first part of the first period and things, Dallas was playing downhill. And I don't think that Toronto's the kind of team, and we've seen Dallas necessarily isn't either, where they're going to say, we're going to start getting pucks in and we're going to start working teams in the offensive zone, get some back. And Dallas is, how they cover in the neutral zone and even in the D zone, how they are quick enough to move on puck carriers. It didn't give them a lot of time and space tonight.
I think Dallas is so frustrating. We've talked about this before, but Dallas is so frustrating as a team when you are trying to attack them, usually when they're on their game. And that's what we saw over this 7-game winning streak. But what was interesting tonight is none of that was there for the first, 8 minutes or so. And then all of a sudden they get the goal and they're just like, okay, let's do this again. And Toronto just looked like they could not get anything through them. They were either dumping pucks in and not getting them, or they were just getting stuck up at the red line.
Go to the third period, And for the 5th time in 42 games, the Stars scored multiple power play goals in the same contest. And this was a quick one because it was just a thing of brilliance. 66 seconds in. Credit to, by the way, Steve Spot. John was getting yelled at in the chat tonight by our diehards and some of our maybe even non-diehards. If you're not a diehard and you're giving producer John guff, you should sign up to be a diehard and then yell at him in the Discord because they want a different Steve Spot. And John was trying to explain how it works both ways. He's evil, but then when it works, he's an evil genius.
Yeah,
and
when the power play isn't working, Steve Spot's the villain, and then when it is working, he's proving everyone wrong, and he's still a villain.
He's the evil villain.
No matter what.
You may have
also,
to-
I don't want to make another one.
Okay, well, I can keep it simple for you. You wouldn't have to change anything. If
You're
they-
about to explain Photoshop to me, Luds?
No,
He'll
please.
show you how to
no.
do it. He'll show
What
you how
I
to
was
do it.
going to say is you could just add, if they score 2 or more, maybe put a little halo above his head. You can still leave the devil eyes and everything else. I'm just saying.
Well, that would kind of defeat the purpose of having the devil eyes.
Well,
if we
not
also had a
necessarily.
halo.
It's still a love-hate relationship
He's
going on
both.
here.
So
Move on.
I'm ready for it. Duchesne scores his 17th of the year from Johnson and Haskin in 106 of the 3rd period. And this was a beautiful individual play by Matt Duchesne that not everybody in the NHL can pull off.
No, and this is Matt Duchesne. We talked about it, and again, we got a little drawing here.
You guys went fancy.
We went a little fancy. And as this is going along, Wyatt's got the puck here. The only reason John's got this circle around Matt's head is he's not looking at Wyatt in this particular shot. What he's doing, he's checking over his right shoulder to see where their ex-teammate is, Chris Tanev, who is right in front of the net, right where he's supposed to be. Okay, now we slide to the next one, still in the same spot, and he's checked again. Wyatt kind of comes up, the puck goes out, come back to Wyatt here. Then we go to the next shot, and all of a sudden, Chris Tanev is not where he used to be. And there's a reason why he's not there, is because he sees Jamie Benn coming back on the back door, and so he's trying to take that pass away. And the reason that Duchesne's been looking around is to see if he's got enough space to pull this move off, and then he pulls the between the legger, and he executes it perfectly. But without him looking over his shoulder, finding if Tanev have that exited that little area right where Tanev's stick is. Tanev's stick, that's where his body was before. This one here, all that is here is his stick. Tanev is trying to cover 2 different guys. Matt Duchesne, I've probably been waiting a long time to pull this one off, and everybody accommodates him, and he got a finish on it.
It was a gorgeous finish. Again, between the legs, flick it to the far side. It's the kind of thing a guy does it after practice when they're in that mess around mode, working on individual things or just goofing off. But he's able to have the presence of mind to do it in the game in a crucial moment.
Yeah, and that's what these guys are so good at. They're aware of their surroundings all the time. And guys that are puck-skilled guys like this, it isn't just because God blessed them with these hands and things like that. It's their vision. They know what they're going to do with it before they even get it. And so Matt was looking around. Now all of a sudden, a little more space in front of the goaltender. Tanev backs off a little bit. Now he's probably thinking, you know what? If I'm going to try to spin or something like that, Wall's going to come with me, but I'm going to try this. He tries it, and like I said, he pulls it off.
I think JT in the chat is trolling you because first, as you were putting up your drawings, he goes, damn, is this ESPN? And then he follows up by saying, I knew Tanev was a bum. Dumba would never. Someone's having fun tonight. We appreciate it, JT.
Well, ESPN's post-game show doesn't exist. They just end the game or go to a next game.
They go to football highlights usually, right?
Yeah, they go to
SportsCenter.
football or something.
So,
Oh, that was a negative comment? Is that what I take?
no, I thought it was a positive. I thought
making fun of you.
Oh, okay.
I thought he was saying your telestration was
Yeah,
immaculate. Less than 2 minutes later, the Stars added a 4th. And of course, it's Logan Stankoven who gets his 2nd goal of the night. Remember, 0 goals, 25 games, now 2 in the same game. 2nd career multi-goal game. He scores on a tip play in the low slot. And, I mean, all 3 of his goals, Luds, are near the net within, 10 feet?
Yeah.
When I say all 3, 2 goals and an assist tonight. He tipped 2 of them, and he got a rebound on the other one. It's his game.
Where's Ovechkin's office?
The left circle.
Okay. This is where Stank's office
Yep.
is. And honestly, this was Matt Duchesne trying to score another goal. And unfortunately for Duchesne, or however we want to look at it, Stank was in the line of fire, and he gets credited with one that goes off him.
So with that, the Stars have a 3-goal lead. Maverick Bourque hits the left post on a 2-on-1. The Leafs look dead. They do get a power play. They had a chance from Matthews. They had a few more scoring chances, but the high danger ones didn't exist. Dallas was in perfect control, manage the game mode. And by the end of the night, the Leafs get walked all over on their home rink. If you saw after 5 minutes of the first period, and I said, who do you think is going to win this one? I think reasonable people would say, boy, it looks like Toronto. They have the early goal. They're on the front foot. Dallas is maybe in trouble tonight. What a about face this game took.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it was after the third goal. It was like Toronto took their foot off the gas a little bit, and I think the belief was taken out of them. They're like, "Oh, we're going to be on this little losing streak, and here's another one." So I didn't think they did a lot to push back.
What do you think about the hit?
Dumba? It was a good hit.
Oh, on Domi.
I mean, you know what? We don't have that, but even as we go through it and look at it, his elbow was in his chest, and Max is not a big guy. I mean, he's short stature.